All right. So again, thank you very much, Postgraduate Student Society, School of Civil Engineering. Thank you for being in the committee and using all your precious time doing research or study to have this session shared with hopefully 100 plus participants as registered. Okay, I know how you sacrifice. So we all have to congratulate and also appreciate what you have done. I know because I started the PGSS in the whole of UTM and also the the structured course in UTM. Okay, this photo is just to share that one, although it's not probably the most part to increase your productivity, is by going to conference and meeting people. Okay? All right. So what is productivity? Okay. So productivity describes various measures of the efficiency of production. We talk about productivity of a firm, right? Normally. So often a productivity measure is expressed as the ratio of an aggregate output to a single input or aggregate input used in the production process. Output per unit of input, okay? And it's typically over a specific period of time. How do we apply this to our life as a student, right? So what is the input? What is the output? Audrey, what is the input and what is the output?
Input is the list of items that you want to finish in a day, and the output is the amount of how many of the things you check out. I mean, you done for the day.
Okay, it's not fair that you only introduce me and I don't introduce you, right, Audrey?
Okay.
Okay, for everyone, because we are all from all faculties in UTM, 7 faculties in UTM. And okay, most of it is from Faculty of Engineering, of course. You are a Sabahan postgraduate student from Faculty of Engineering, School of Civil Engineering. You just graduated from undergraduate, yeah, Audrey?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, okay. Your master's in Civil Engineering and Environment. All right. Good to know you and meet you here. So, what is your input? You have to think. And what is your output? At the end of your study, maybe the output, if you take master classes, would be good grades, right? And for research, probably is publication. At the end is your thesis, right? That is your output. Workplace productivity. So when we talk about workplace productivity, we are referring largely to how much work is accomplished in a particular work environment over a particular period of time, right? So you are here because you want to get a degree, right? That is your number one objective, to be here as a student in UTM. Nothing else, right? Otherwise, you won't be here. So you are here, if undergraduate student, that will be like 4 years. Master student, depending if you're taking third course, probably 3 years. Or research can be 3 to, no, third course 3 semesters, I mean, right? Masters by third course, master by research, 3 to 4 semesters. PhD, right? PhD would be 6 semesters or more, depending. So over a particular period of time. This is my workplace at home, right? That's the, actually in my bedroom, in my son's bedroom. Sometimes I use his room. So productivity has something to do also with the workplace. How do you measure your productivity as a student? I hope you get the answers at the end of this session, how actually do you measure your productivity as a student? Okay, I reserve that question. Yeah, Audrey? Remember this question, yeah? Okay. Okay. I let me just share a little bit more about my background. Okay. And you can see how this has affect my productivity. I graduated with a Bachelor of Science in Mathematics, and I have also a minor in Economics from State University of New York at Binghamton. Now they call it Binghamton University. Within 3.5 years, actually undergraduate there is 4 years, but I managed to finish in 3.5 years by taking summer classes. Instead of just not doing anything during the 3-month summer break, I take classes from other universities in the US and then I transfer, because over there it can be done like that. And then directly after graduate, I came back a little bit to Malaysia and settle to get extension of my scholarship. And in 3 semesters, I got my master's. All right. So my master's is by dot course, full coursework. Then I went back. Then I applied to all universities in Malaysia. And in my letter, I remember, I didn't fill out any form. In my letter, I remember I put that I will be arriving in Malaysia on the 26th of December 1990, because my flight is the day before Christmas. And UITM called me the next day after I arrived to call for an interview. And then within 2 weeks, I started working in UITM. And then after a month or 2 months, UTM called me for an interview. So I just accept, and UTM then offered me a job. So I decided, because I'm from Pontian, Johor, I wanted to work in Johor. So after 3.5 years, I went back to further my PhD in the same university. But before that, after a few months working, I got married, and then I had 2 sons before I further my studies in the US for PhD. And in the US, the normal duration to finish your PhD is 5 years. Okay, but then I asked my supervisor, when is the fastest time that I can finish? So she said, normally, not normally, but the minimum requirement semester is 10 semesters after undergraduate. 10 semesters after undergraduate. So my master's is 3 semesters, so meaning I have 7 semesters left. So I said I need and I want to finish my PhD in the minimum time, 7 semesters. And I graduated in 40 months. Okay, the time I register until I get my Senate letter. So this is my background. If you want to see more about my academic background, this is my website. Okay, so I'm sharing you this so you know if you need to ask me questions. Okay, so I joined UTM 2nd of May 1991 after my master's, and then I went back to further my studies in 1995 until 1998. So I became an administrator in UTM as a head Department of Postgraduate Studies of Faculty of Science for 5 years, managing Postgraduate Student Society, Faculty of Science. We are among the 3 PGSS in UTM who are active at that time. The others, they are not there yet or they are not active. Then I joined in SPS as the Deputy Dean. So now I have to manage the whole of PGSS in the whole UTM in each faculty. And all the presidents will be the PGSS in UTM. Joining PGSS as a student, I am sure gives you a lot of experience, not only just using your time, but your working skill, right? Your soft skill. So this is the one that we managed a conference, ICSS, in 2016. And then after 4 years, I came to UTM International. I became the Director of Global Education and Student Experience, so I manage International Students Society. And then I manage also the mobility students. And I manage also after that, just few months, a student pass and visa. Until 2019, I changed the unit. Now in the global strategy and engagement. And my term ended actually last month, but now I'm acting, meaning I'm still doing this job until question mark whether they reappoint or not. Okay, this is what I do now. I'm managing international relation, all the staff mobility inbound and outbound, whoever our MOU, MOA partners, and also ranking of the university. This is what I do. And I'm also a Senate member. I have to go to so many meetings in the sub-Senate. So in these 30 years in UTM, from 2007 until now, that's 14 years, I've been half 50% administrator and 50% academic staff. As associate professor before, now a professor. I still have to teach. I still have to have students. I'm still a lecturer. Okay, so you have to understand that. Now, all those years, I managed to supervise 83 undergraduate final year project students. After I joined, most of them came after I finished my PhD. And then master student in mathematics is not really common to have students taking bio research, so only a few of them, and the rest they are dissertation students, mixed mode. And then I graduated 35 students, PhD students since 2008. Okay, and you can see they are from all over. They are international students and also local students. And I can say close to 80% graduate on time. You know, graduate on time, right? The Myra or UTM graduate on time is 42 months, and Ministry of Higher Education graduate on time is 48 months. So within that 48 months, only a few did not graduate on time because they're doing it part-time, or they have some kind of family problems, health problems, right? And right now, I have 12 PhD students who are active. I see some of the name here, so I see some, only a few turn on the video just now. Anyway, I see you registered. Okay, so later I will check whether you are really here or not. Anyway, they are not from the same semesters. The first one have finished, correction, viva, the thesis, until the one that is in the third semester. Okay, and I have also had the experience to supervise fast track students, meaning you are first class student from undergraduate to PhD. Maybe some of you are here. And I was the supervisor of the youngest PhD holder for Malaysia Book of Record in 2014, Dr. Hazira Izzati. If you have read her, at the age of 24 years and 2 months old, she got her PhD. I always put this in my whiteboard so I remember all the students, which semester you are now, who should be contacting me, which semester that you are there. You yourself have to take care of yourself. I have to take care of my students. So I put it in front of me so I can see it every day. Okay? Before I go on to sharing these 7 habits of highly effective people, there is a book. It's very famous. I'm sure some of you probably have read it. But because it has something to do with productivity. Okay, the first one is to be proactive. You don't wait. You have to be proactive. If you are doing masters or undergraduate, you're taking classes, you have questions, you don't just wait until class to ask question, right? You can actually ask to see the lecturer. I used to go to my professor's office hours, or I ask, when is your office hours? Can I come and ask question? I remember doing that. If you are doing research, you don't wait until your supervisor asks you, when are you going to meet me? That is the worst scenario actually, when your supervisor asks you that question. You have to ask, can I see you? Can you check my abstract? I have emailed you this a while ago, but you haven't replied. Have you received my email? I'm afraid maybe you overlook. I send you a messages, but you know, nowadays, messages, how many groups that you have, your supervisors have, maybe more than 100. Maybe your message go way down there in the bottom, okay? You cannot just assume that you need and to wait. You have to be proactive. Sometimes I'm not free, so I ask my students, let's have a discussion during lunch, or not during this Ramadan, yeah? This one happened before Ramadan, okay? And sometimes probably during breakfast, okay? Or others. There are ways, it depends. The second one is very interesting. Why are you here? I ask you again. You are here because you want to get your degree, right? You want to graduate. None of you is here just to play around, right? Just to visit UTM. No. You have to start and you have to begin with the end in mind. Okay, you have to set your goal. You have to make plan until whatever you need to graduate. Get to work. Your degree won't come by itself. Okay, you have to stick to it. Reach your goal. Okay, we decide the direction of our study, our life. This is the photo of after I arrived in the States before my PhD. Yeah, Zahid, I was also an international student. So I know how it feels to be so far away from your family. That is the sacrifice that you have to make. Okay? So I brought this, my sons, 2+ year old, 2 years and 4 months at that time, and 7 months. Okay? Now, the day that I passed my Viva is 21st of April 98. Okay, and they are already this big. You cannot really see this one. They look the same one. And this is my supervisor. Okay, I had no idea they are outside the Viva room. These are all my writing. There is no PowerPoint. There's no slide. I had to write on the board with the chalk. Okay, no looking, checking at the papers or whatever. You just have to present. And the Viva is open to all. So there's internal, external, some other lecturers and students. Okay. So within about 3-4 hours, I think. Then when finished, and then I had to go out. At that time, nobody was outside. Then I think they probably just hiding outside. And then I came in, my supervisor went out, calling me back in. Congratulations, Dr. Sarmin. Okay, that's my dad's name. And you know how that feels. That's like the happiest moment in life. And then suddenly she went out. I wonder why she went out. I thought she was going to the toilet. She called my family to come in. So they come with flowers. That is really sweet. So by beginning this with the end in mind, you have to know your path. Okay, if some of you are starting, some of you are finishing, you won't finish until you submit your hardcover, right? Then waiting for the Senate letter. So that is the end of the journey. I'm not going to go into that because structured course, they also have one for Viva, they also have one for publication, right? This is writing and so forth. So I'm just showing this for you to know that you have to know your postgraduate research journey or even undergraduate journey, right? How many semesters, the ups and downs in PhD is normal, right? Masters normally is just a straight road, but PhD there ups and downs. That is normal. If it's just straight, so clear, I don't think it's called PhD. Okay. Now, although we're targeting for graduate on time, but the number one is to graduate. Okay, if you can graduate on time, it's a bonus. So number one is to graduate. So what you have to do first semester, second semester, you have to know all whatever is required of you. Not your supervisor. Yes, your supervisor have to know, but you also have to know. Now you have to take classes, you have to do all the literature review, right? There is structured course there. So now you are lucky because before when we started this, there's funding, limited funding, and then we had to give, like at that time, although you can go without it, but we provide food, that's why, and then I don't think it's more than 50. Right now, it's open to all faculties, and maybe WebEx can do up to 1,000. I don't know how much limitation that you give, but why don't you use this opportunity, right? And then you had to take classes, and you had to do defense in the third semester, and then you had to do all your research, data collection, analysis, and so on and so forth with the help of your supervisor. Okay, let me do this in a minute. Okay, right. So I'm doing this to my laptop actually. Give me a minute, yeah. This is better. I want to see Audrey's face. Audrey, okay, I like your smile, Audrey. Okay. Okay. So if you don't know your timeline, you are in trouble. Especially if you're a research student. Okay, you have to know if you want to submit your thesis 3 months before, you have to submit your notice of thesis submission. If your supervisor is new, actually supervisors need to know all the, but you can share and just checking. Okay, have you sent this to the faculty and so on and so forth. All right. Number 3 in this book is put first things first. And you have to know how to prioritize. You have to be fully disciplined. Your time management. Okay? I have this Facebook with close private group of my students in which I will upload my schedule normally on Saturday. Okay? For me to commit what I have to do this week. Okay, since I'm half administrator, half supervisor, teacher, and so on. So I upload this a while ago. Okay, put the schedule. Then my students will see when I'm free and just make appointment. Okay, so management, time management. Because you are a student here, your priority is your research, your classes. That is your priority, right? As a student. As an individual, maybe a family member and so forth. I'm talking about your priority as a student. How much time do we have in a day? Audrey, this is a very simple question. Can you answer that?
24
See?
hours.
everyone has 24 hours a day. Okay, no one else has more or less. We all have the same time a day, right? So how do you prioritize things? Okay, so I had to prioritize also meeting my student. Okay, meeting my student in my office. Some students, they are not here, so we had to have Zoom also, so the student can see. But mathematics is easy to write on the board, right? So if they are around, I can meet them. So you discuss this with the supervisor. Okay, you have time for research. Okay, Audrey, are you doing your master's by research or by thought course or Miss Wong?
By research, Prof.
By research, meaning how many hours do you have to spend for your research a day?
So I am in the lab from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. every day.
Yeah, yeah. If you are in the lab or if you are not in the lab,
So
you have to spend 8 hours a day. All right. If people in the lab sometimes they spend more. I remember even during undergraduate, my computer science student, sometimes they slept in the lab. Okay, you are in the maybe wet lab, they are in the computer lab, right? So minimum is 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. Okay, 40 hours. And then you also have to have time for family, right? I'm really sorry, it's fasting month, but normally photos we take during eating, right? So, all right. So this is my family. Sometimes I ask students to join us, and this is my mom's house in Pontian. So you have to allocate time also for family. You have to have time for yourself. How do you spend your time for leisure? Yeah, Audrey.
I just watch some movies in my laptop.
Yeah, watching movie, right? You sometimes we have other activities. So I play badminton sometimes. I bicycles around UTM when it's not raining and around my house. So how do you put this thing together? And as a student, you have to plan your research. Okay, if you don't have this, it would be hard for you to target your output. Your productivity cannot be measured. So you have this for 3 years. This is an example for PhD. For 6 semesters, it can change, it's okay. But you have to have this plan. Okay, the project activities, you have to do this. Literature review, you have to do until even the night of Viva, right? Suddenly you hoping not, but you have to make sure that nobody else have done this. So the activities and then the milestone that you want to achieve within this time and so on. And at the end, you have to plan when you will start writing your thesis, when you plan to submit for Viva, right? And down there, you see the technology transfer activities. When do you plan to present in a conference, in seminars? When do you want to publish in a journal? So I would advise my student at least in 1 year, you had to publish, you had to present in a conference. That's minimum. So you don't put like so many until you cannot reach. That will stress you out. Okay, so you plan the minimum, but if you can do more, that means you have increased your output or your productivity over time. Okay, and also it's good if you can have this kind chart in one semester in 14 weeks. This is what I'm gonna do. You know, now it's already week 7 of this semester. Time flies very, very fast. And in a few days, it will be in May already. Can you imagine? Just Happy New Year 2021. And to know your priority, we have this called Eisenhower decision matrix. Everything that we do, we can put in these 4 quadrants, right? After this, maybe you can think, you don't have to write, but you can think, important, not important. Urgent, not urgent, right? So what is important and also urgent? Deadlines, right? That is why when you have your schedule, you know about your academic calendar. This is due this day. Put in your calendar the deadlines and do. I normally will put in my Google Calendar and do notification. Sometimes I put 3 times notification. Like today, I put 2 days before, I put 10 minutes before, so I don't forget. Okay? And then urgent and important is to meet with your supervisor. Whatever you do, if your supervisor said, okay, I want to meet you this, if you are like the chair or the president of PGSS, you have planned for this with your committee, and suddenly your supervisor said, can you meet me? You are scared to say you cannot, but you can communicate. I have planned this with my committee. We have things to do. Can we meet some other time? I know some students are scared, but supervisors also know the importance of being in a committee. They are also in committee, not the student committee, but they know. Okay, classes, if you take class, that is the most important and urgent thing. You cannot skip class, right? Emergency or crisis, you have to take care of it. Important but not so urgent is a relationship and building a relation. Weekly or long-term planning, it's important, but probably it's for the whole week, right? It's not like I had to do it this hour, right? Academic activities is important, but you cannot take all in one semester, right? You can wait. Exercise and health, they are important, but it's not like you had to do it all today. Today you had to go to the gym 8 hours, no, right? Not important, but urgent. That can be urgent to somebody else, but not to you, right? The interruptions, some meetings that are not really important to you, but urgent for other people. Not important and not urgent. Excessive TV or game, right? Something that you can do without. Okay, you can still be alive if you don't have it, right? Pleasant activities, it can wait. It's not that important, it's not that urgent. I didn't say you cannot do it. Yes, you can do it, but put it, you can wait. Or just wasting time. I also have that thing, drama. I never watch Korean drama, but Malay drama, yeah, it's not important, it's not urgent at all. But it's just, that is, I put it in the box of rewarding myself. You can do that too. Okay, so think win-win. Why are you doing this? Audrey, Ling, all of you, Zafar, why do you join Postgraduate Student Society, right? To get all the experience, the soft skill, how to manage people. You know so many other committee members that you can share ideas. Sometimes you can share also research. Okay, so the graduate school also need all these kind of students. So you are winning, they are also winning, to give and take. All right, and you have to value and respect these people. If they do everything for you, you just come. You just in the comfort of home, click Webex. You don't have to do anything. Just listen. Even that you cannot do. Focus, right? Are you here with me 100%? Or you are now messaging people, answering email, or doing something else for these 2 hours? Are you given your fully 100% full concentration? Okay. Number 5 is seek first to understand, then to be understood. Habit of communication. You have to do this with your supervisor. I told always to my students, don't assume things. I think, right? You always assume. Saya ingat, right? I think, that is assuming. You don't know because you never ask. Okay, you said, oh, I thought you were busy. You thought I'm busy. Did you ask? See? Right? So with your friends, with your family, with your co-researchers, right? You have to understand people before they can understand you, right? So like this one, I was on leave. My student, I said, okay, I can pass you the thesis because I finished. Can you come to my house? So that is also possible. See, I was actually um, just taking this photo, this like selfie, but I didn't look. So she's like, oh, this is how my thesis, all so many corrections. Okay, synergize, habit of creative cooperation. Normally doing research, you do it by yourself, right? In some laboratory, you are with some others, but it would be better to have someone else with you, or friends, or seniors, right? A group in the research group. So what we have a research group where we do workshop. Some students with myself, we went to a seminar together. We meet people over there. That is why you need to go to conference also, to see others, how people are doing their research, right? Other areas, whatever you can learn, you can learn. And if they are not here, you can meet through Zoom, right? So so many things that you can do, even during this pandemic time that you cannot travel, but still you can get connected. Sharpen your saw physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. This is very important. You have to have a clear mind, a healthy body, to think about research, about work, about classes. If you are sick or your mind is not there fully focused, how can you sharpen your mind? How can you get the product that you need? So during this pandemic, we have like since last year, so many activities online. Although it is not the same, this is what we have to do now. Make full use of it. Okay, physical activities, mental. There's some of the students, they went into depression. You share with people. This is people that you can trust, right? They don't tell to others. And also spiritually, like even this morning, Faculty of Engineering, it's very nice that even the dean, right, sharing the Quran every morning 8:15 to 9, right? The dean can allocate the time, the busiest time, 45 minutes almost every morning, to share some good things. Like last week until this morning is about productivity. So it's not even just for Muslims, actually. Whatever people share in even other religion, whatever you can learn, why not you can learn? Okay, so I have mentioned this, and I mentioned again that they are not, it's not just your research work, it's not just your classes. You will graduate, and after that you need whatever experience that you need. So join PGSS activities, join PGSS as committee members, college activities, be some of the committee members in ITM International. You have Culture Corner, hopefully we begin again next year. There's the mobility, you can go for research attachment, like the Facebook, the student mobility program. For research students, they also have now, they are starting to give scholarships and others. Become global bodies. So next year, hopefully when the mobility students came in for undergraduates mostly, then even some masters and PhD students, they become global bodies, right? They become buddies to the mobility student. Zafar, I know you joined ISS also, right? International Student Society. You have activities there. So it's a win-win situation. Here I'm just sharing you some of my students who joined the PGSS in the faculty, in UTM. This is one of those time quite years ago that I was chairing the PGSS meeting. Okay, you can also join Toastmasters Club. I really recommend my student to join this. This is for public speaking, for communication skill, for leadership skill. You become confident to talk. I learned a lot, even I'm a member for 6 years now. Even how to present, like today, how to not looking at your face here or your face here, looking at the camera. You have to go through this public speaking in at least your viva, right? Your first assessment. How do you convince people by presenting your research? By not showing you scared, right? Scared is normal. And recently, Sophia, I saw your name. I'm not sure. Are you here? If you are here, you can say hi. But an opportunity to meet the Queen as some of the Toastmasters members, to meet people, to share experience. Okay, although they are from different faculties. So nowadays you can just Google whatever you want, right? I mentioned about International Student Society. You become a member there. We have 4,000 international students on campus from 77 or more countries, right? So the countries with so many, 17, 18 of them, they have their own society. They do activities, there's funding, you can join that. So I just share the 7 habits of effective people. It has something to do with also productivity. Productivity is about getting things done and do it effectively. Okay, getting the right things done. All right. So other tips of productivity would be to set your goals and do it smart, specific, do it significant, measurable. You even in your objective, right? You have to put something that is measurable. Okay, you have to do something that is meaningful. What you are doing today is part of the objective of today, right? To motivate. So you can go through courses that can motivate you. Achievable. If you cannot achieve, you cannot graduate because your objective won't be achieved. Realistic. Don't go to the sky if you don't have the right vehicle, right? Reasonable, relevant, okay, and time-based. Because I've shared your time, you don't have that much time, right? PhD you want to finish within 3-4 years, okay? Do heavy work when we are at our best. You know, I am not a night person. I am a morning person. I sleep quite early, 10, 11, during especially Ramadan. I have to wake up 4 or 5, right, in the morning to prepare, to eat. But I make sure I have enough sleep. Yeah, Audrey, how many hours you sleep in a day?
5 like that. 5 or 6.
6 should be around 6, yeah? Not more than 8. 8 will be like a baby, right? So 6 is good. If you sleep less than that, you won't be as productive. All right? And choose the time that you are very productive. I remember during undergraduate, I study during the study week, like at 7 in the morning until I stop at 12, and then I get my lunch. I cannot study during night because I will sleep early. But if I'm too tired in the afternoon, I slept for 2 hours in the afternoon, I will deduct the 2 hours and then I continue study for 2 hours, probably very early morning, like 4 a.m. Okay, it depends on your body, it depends on you. Okay, and choose the best place also. I mentioned more. I'm a morning person. Don't be too multitasking. Right? It is okay to multitask, you can do, but sometimes, like this time, I remember I had a meeting and there's a webinar I tried. I can focus not 100%, right? Yes, you have two, but you cannot divide. One go here, one go here. Right now, if any of you are doing something else right now, can you focus? Even in class, right? You talk to someone with your friend, and then you will lose focus. Okay? But multitasking in some ways, like there is a break. Okay, during break, you can do this, right? While you are cooking, you can do washing clothes, right? This is multitasking that you can do. While probably frying your fish, I can check my WhatsApp and email because you don't do anything to the fish. Let it be fried, something like that. That is what I do. I tried last weekend. I was going over thesis as internal examiner, and I was listening to Dr. Wahid UTV. There is a webinar. Okay, so I focus, and then I need to take a break, and then I go there. So that is what I meant by multitasking. Prepare to-do list each night or each week. You have to think ahead, right? I have shared the whole 6 semesters Gantt chart. That is your planning. And then there is a planning of 1 semester. I do planning for a week, like I mentioned earlier. So this is my calendar for this week, except for the gray one. The gray one is shared, but the others are mine. So yesterday I shared this. I saw this morning one of my students already booked me. Atira, if you are here, I saw it. Okay, so I had to put this in after this, 11:30. What time is it now? Okay, I have a meeting with my boss tomorrow. I have a meeting, and then I have a class, and then there's meeting, and then Senate on Wednesday, and I have a class. Actually, sometimes I take leave also to finish things. Okay, you have to know also to delegate properly, like PGSS committee members, right? You have secretary, you have the what do you call pengarah, right? The director, the president, and so on. Delegate your works. You don't delegate your research work, right? But there are other things that you can delegate properly. Eliminate distraction. This is a major something that can affect your productivity, right? What is this, Audrey?
Media.
Huh?
Social media.
Yeah, but what is this? What
Oh,
is
oh,
this?
sorry. Instagram,
Okay, this
Facebook,
one,
Facebook,
right?
Snapchat,
I don't know that. This?
Pinterest,
Wow, you know all. And this?
Twitter,
Okay,
and
last.
YouTube.
Wow. A++ for social media. Okay, so if they become too much distraction, you have to eliminate them. Even cannot see it in your PC or in your handphone. But if you don't look at Facebook, you probably won't even know that we have this sharing today, right? Because you shared in the Facebook page. Okay? But you have to know which one that will use so much of your time. If you're taking a break, it's okay, right? We need somehow they can be informative, but they can also take in so much of your time. Avoid procrastination, right? You realize in the our poster, right? There's productivity going up when procrastination going down. So in mathematics, we call this inversely proportional. Once it goes up, another one goes down. So try to not procrastinate. Last time I remember I was invited for this topic, right? Procrastination. I'm not gonna spend much time into that. The procrastination cycle, I am sure if you're human, you tend to procrastinate. You procrastinate and then you feel guilty and then you panic and you try to make excuses, but you don't learn. You procrastinate again and you go in a cycle. But this can be helped by ourselves, by our strong will. You always have excuse. I don't feel like to do it today. I'm busy. Now I'm busy, I'll do after this. This one, just trying to get reason, right? My cat is hungry. Now you're blaming your cat. I should go feed her. It's not due until later. I still have time. I'll do it tomorrow, and then tomorrow, and then tomorrow. If it is due in a week, why can't you just do it if you have time now? Then you are finished. If it's due in a week, you wait until the day before. And within this week, you have other things coming in. And what if the deadline is the same day, but you get it last minute, right? If you have it way before, finish it. Then you are done. You can do probably just editing and repairing something, because you never know what will come in. Okay, so how to stop procrastinating? I just share a little bit. Make rewards for taking action more immediate. Okay, reward yourself, like Audrey just now. When do I have to stop? 10:30, is it okay? Then we open to questions.
All right, Prof.
Okay. I know maybe you want to mute yourself. I know. All right. Okay. So make rewards. I reward myself by watching Malay drama sometimes. I don't go shopping, but some people they reward themselves by eating. Okay. Design your action. You can stop wasting time on your phone by maybe deleting games or social media apps. Make tasks more achievable. What is that? Why is it? Let me try and escape first. Cannot see. Oh, okay. Make the task more achievable. You can, oh, this is too hard for me. Then do it. Simple things first, right? Consistent and discipline. It's not easy, but discipline. Actually, this photo I just took last night before I went to bed. I saw my kids are playing. Ling, do you know this game? It's online game somehow.
Maybe no. Maybe.
You better not know. It's good. They are rewarding themselves by playing game. And they said, "Mommy, what are you doing?" I just want to take your photo of your game so I can put in my slide. Okay, so that's okay, but probably rewarding yourself. So you had to get enough sleep, as I mentioned. Okay, many students said, I can work well the whole night, but I had to sleep the whole day. Okay, but if you had to meet your supervisor, are you going to meet your supervisor at night, right? So sometimes you have to change, right? There are benefits of waking up early. So your willpower decreases over the course of the day. It's highest in the morning. Okay, you can focus more in the morning. And that is why I remember during my undergraduate years, most mathematics classes they offer in the morning. But my class, I request to have it in the afternoon because one of my students is not here. Two of my students are abroad. So I don't want them to be like 3 a.m. in the morning if my class is in the morning. Okay, you have more time if your day is the same with others. Otherwise, you wake up like before Zoho, then you only have like 2-3 hours when office hours is closed, lab is closed, right? Self-discipline, right? And better sleep because of human. We sleep at night, okay? And you might say, I'm following my country's time, but you are in Malaysia, you have to follow our time if you are here, okay? You have to be healthy. You cannot think, you cannot work, you cannot read if you are not healthy. So drink a lot of water and eat healthy. Malaysia is a heaven of food. you can like, right? So water, 8 glasses a day, especially even during this Ramadan, right? You can drink few glasses in the morning when it's buka, when it's after Isha, during you sleeping, maybe you wake up, or in the morning or before, during sahur. This is my favorite food actually, salad. Okay, and cereal. Tuna sandwich is also healthy. And all the grains, korma during sahur, they are good. I don't say that rice is not healthy, but you cannot take so much of everything, right? Okay, always read motivational books or attend good webinars. This is the book that I shared just now. There's another good book, PGSS-SKA. This one is 25th April is at the same time now, right? And there's one by Prozaida. This one is in FB Live, right? So you can join this 28th April. Because it's FB Live, if you are not free, you can still go back and see the recorded one. Be around good and positive people or friends. Sometimes you are around negativity, right? And you see some students, sometimes you don't see them working, you just see them lepaking or just watching TV and so on. Maybe that is the time the student is rewarding himself or herself, right? Some students are always assume bad of others and not doing things. So be around good and positive people or friends, which is good for you. Okay. Hopefully we can have picnic again near the lake like 2 years ago. I want to share some motivational people, which are my students actually. More about Dr. Hazira, who graduated in 48 months. So at the age of 24 years and 2 months, because she's a fast track student. There's another actually younger PhD holder in 2015, right? A boy. She went to so many research attachments during her study just to meet other people, just to join conference, okay? Iran, in Italy, in Brazil, right, in Turkey, in conferences and seminars. So use whatever opportunity that you can. Okay, some of this she got funding from abroad, some from UTM, from our mobility, UTM International, from the research and so forth. In a conference in Indonesia, we used to have GOP before, right? And global outreach. This one in Beijing in 2011. Where was I? Cannot even recognize myself. All right. So her publication during her PhD, 2000, what was it? 2011 to 2014. Okay. In journals, in proceedings, in book chapter, you have to know your requirement, right? If you want to graduate, right? For PhD, for masters. The second one is Dr. Gan. Dr. Gan is now, Dr. Hazira is now working in UTM in our department. Dr. Gan in Taiwan, he graduated in 40 months in 2015 and he received a Pro Chancellor Award. So depending on the months that you graduate on time, publication and awards and also some of your activities. Okay, so publication and non-academic activities. He's also active in Wushu, in other committees, and he also went with Dr. Hazira to Brazil. Okay, the third one is Dr. Ibrahim, now a postdoctoral, graduated in 39 months in 2019. He received Alumni Award, Best Postgraduate Student, okay, and also active in activities in international, badminton, okay, International Student Society, and also Toastmasters Club. We also have awards there. And his publication during PhD, okay, and some awards that you can achieve in UTM, okay. Also activities, there are so many. You can join, because 24 hours a day minus 8 for research, minus 6 for sleeping, minus some for eating, and some others you still have time. Weekends I didn't count, yeah, you can do. I just want to show my achievement in 2020. Okay, what did I achieve? I normally will measure myself on what can I achieve, what have I achieved. So I had to teach. So every semester, instead of normally 2 courses, I teach 1 because I'm an admin. I'm supervising bachelor degree students, master students as co-supervisor. I have all my PhD students. So I got 2 graduated in 2020 and hopefully some more in 2021, another 2 or 3 and more, right? And until the most recent one, going for first assessment, making sure they register, making sure they do all their research work, and publication in ISI, in Scopus. I make sure that each paper that has my name, I need to check, and at least I need to proofread once, at least once, okay? So that's, and some others in journals, in proceedings, okay? Actually, each of the academic staff has their KPI. Like a professor, you have to have at least 2 papers in ISI, 5 papers in Scopus, that's minimum. But I don't just target for the minimum. As much as I can do, if I can do more, then I do more. Okay, and we also had to have at least 1 grant as the principal investigator. That is our KPI. So I had 2 grants, and also as co-researchers doing research with other universities also. I had also editing, reviewing articles to some journals. I had to be the external and internal examiners to master students and PhD students, not only from Malaysia, but there are some from Pakistan, they're from India. I haven't put all actually for the external. And getting awards is also part of KPI that will help UTM in MIRA, okay, in the research assessment, okay, to retain our research university status. These are the kind. We have also have to attend at least in a year 40 hours, okay, 40 hours of all webinars or sharing and so on, okay, 40 hours a year. We have to present, for me, at least 1 conference, in 1 conference. So I became a speaker to 1, 2, 3, and all those webinars online, organizing by so many countries all over the world. So there are some under UTM International. There are some, I don't know what I eat. It's so itchy. Sorry. Some abroad, some under my research. Okay. Some webinars are under teaching. CPD is the points that we had to accumulate, like 40 hours, and total is more than 300 hours for 2020. Not only you have to be also active being a committee members, where you put in your, what do you call it, progress report. We also join in as committee members. Other consultation, we have to do community service. You know, lecturer, they have to do 7P in Malay, it's pengajaran and so on. Okay, so but in 2021, we have not really 4 months, yeah, 3 months plus. I also teaching. I also already have undergraduate student, master student, PhD students. Not that many yet publications. We have sent some papers, grants. Okay, they're also counting how many ringgit that we apply as grants. So far, I haven't had the time to count how many hours, but I think it's already more than 80 hours or more, maybe more, 100 hours maybe. Seminars and workshops and that I attended and become speakers. Speakers are not just you become speaker for 2 hours, right? The slide you have to prepare hours and hours also. And as an academic, which is an administrator in UTM International, and we have to make sure that the ranking of UTM now is 187 in the world. We have to be able to achieve 260 this year. So we have to organize so many activities. And part of it is virtual international engagement that we are targeting. That's why you have to have a target, your KPI. We're targeting 40 this year. And Alhamdulillah, we have achieved, every quarter we targeted 10. We have achieved 20 so far. Not end of Q2 yet, but I managed to get contact from 3 continents and 8 countries. So we meet for 1 hour and we discuss on international collaboration that we can do between both universities. Yeah. Okay, now I want to just share a little bit about my master's. It was a long time ago, but it was fully taught course. Yeah, Audrey, it's not research. So I remember all the time I spent in classes, okay, to take classes like 16 to 20 credits for 1 semester, making sure, what should I do? Okay, making sure I don't miss any classes, okay. So okay, I also had to attend seminars. There's a weekly seminars. I was also working. Okay, my scholarship just at that time I remember is 450, 450 a month USD. So I was working because I want to travel. Okay, it's just enough for food and so forth. But I was working as a tutor because I also want to get experience in the tutorial center on campus and as a grader. So I teach tutoring the university student. Okay, then I got to travel. My PhD, in the US, it's like mixed mode. So the first 2 semesters, we had to take classes, but I had to start my research even in the first semester. Okay, normally they started after finish classes, but I had to finish early, so I take classes. Seminars, we had to present every semester, okay, and we had to attend once every week, seminar in our own field. I have to go to conferences also, almost every semester, I think, if not year, in the US. It's big, so normally I have to fly, and once in the UK from the US. Publication, not that many. Okay, I published 2 papers because my supervisor said you publish after your PhD. And I was also working. Again, because I went to the same university, so they know me. So I became TA, teaching assistant. So I take calculus class. And within 8 in the morning until 6 p.m., I had to do all this. Okay. And when I went back, pick up the kids, my husband was also studying, cook, and then be with the family, watch TV, and send them to bed early at 9, 9:30, then continue again 10 to 12. Normally weekends, we just spend time with families. But I survived with that. But I never take leave. I never take leave or went back to Malaysia, except for one time. I went to a conference in UK, then went back for just few days. That's it. Even during their break time, I don't take break. So my family was with me, right? And then there's the thesis writing. I started like after 2 years, I started doing my thesis writing. The viva went smoothly for 3 to 4 hours. And then corrections like few days. And then submission within a week, because within 2 weeks is my convocation. And then I went back. Okay, so in the future planning, you have to plan. You don't have to wait until people ask you to. Seminars, conferences, how many papers, minimum, yes, you know how many, but you want to do more, right? Plan ahead. And make sure PhD students, 3 months before you want to submit your thesis, you send a notice of submission. Remind your supervisor. Then before you do all the thesis write-up, maybe you share the table of contents with your supervisor. Is this okay? Is this up to the standard? Is this PhD standard, right? Then you start with the thesis writing. If you have all those publications, it will be easier for you to do your thesis writing. And then preparation for viva. You can ask seniors, whoever have graduate, ask. They might not be in the same experience during the viva. So the best person to ask besides the seniors would be your supervisors who have been to many, as like internal, external, chair, and others. If not, ask others. Then you do corrections and you have to submit the hardcover. So you have to plan. If you don't know, then ask how many more months, how many time that you have to be around, or you have to be able financially. This is important. Okay, so as I mentioned, when you plan with your supervisor. You can have a review paper in the very beginning. If you can attend a conference and meet people and present your work, and also from a conference they have published, right? Publication in proceedings, which is quick. Sometimes you send to a journal, you take years sometimes, right? You want to send to Scopus or Web of Science in the Q journal. You also had to plan all the workshop, right? And what is actually a good productivity? A good productivity is getting important things done consistently, right? In Malay, We don't want it to be what they say, hangat-hangat tahi ayam, meaning, wow, you want to be so productive, but it's just for 1 month or 1 semester. So you want to do going up your productivity and consistent, if not up, consistent. Okay. Being productive is about maintaining a steady average speed, not maximum speed on everything, right? Then you will stress yourself. And how to increase productivity, if I may conclude this, find a nice workplace. Okay. Even a library. I remember during my master's, I love to study in the library, but I need a big table. That's why I like my table here. Okay. I cannot sit in the library where the table is, I cannot see the rest. Okay. The workplace that I have at home, okay, making sure if you don't have a proper this, at least there is a workplace that you can really focus. Okay, not like in the kitchen, right? There's too many distractions. Now make sure that you are healthy. Use whatever technology that we have now, right? Now we have like so many. Before this, I never used WebEx or Zoom, right? Get the nice environment. UTM is always open to the students to come back, okay, unless there's a travel restriction. But if you are a local student, use the opportunity to be in the right environment. Punctuality is very important. We have today 50 of you who really punctual by 9, and then we start. So that is very important. And you have to have a strong will, okay? Study is never easy. If it's easy, everyone wants to study. So looking forward to a happy ending for your Viva. This before COVID, the Viva of my student Alia. And also, this is something that you will be really looking forward to. Viva, sign-up letter, convocation actually it's optional, right? You already like PhD, already a doctor when you get your Senate letter, but it's a bonus to attend your convocation. So to all of you, you just always remember this. Life is not always easy, even it's study time or working time, and success not just come fly to you. It's not an easy thing to achieve. There is no shortcut. You have to try and strive for the success. Need to sacrifice. When I went abroad, I sacrificed, like we had to sell our car. I haven't bought any house yet, but at least sacrifice not meeting our family there. I lost my grandmother while I was there. So try to enjoy life while doing it, while you can. And while you are here, I will pray for everyone to finish and graduate and achieve and success in the future. And if you want to see, I put again my website. My slide today will also be uploaded there. Hopefully by today, because there are some things that I need to adjust. That's my email. You can send me an email. It's okay if you need to ask me any question. My Facebook, normally I will choose those I see affiliation UTM. There's a photo, full name. If you put something like Dragonfly or something, I won't accept. No UTM affiliation is somebody that I don't know, I won't accept. LinkedIn, yeah, make sure you put your affiliation so people recognize you. I want to say thanks to Ayu for helping me putting together this slide. Okay, thank you. I pass back to you, Audrey.
Thank you very much to Prof today for delivering the meaningful and very useful knowledge with us.